Welcome back to the Football Tragics and welcome to Matchday 6 of the Premier League. This is our preview show. We've got Tony with me and Campo. There's no Morty today. Mr. Consistent is MIA, so he won't be joining us. But as always, I'm your host, Aaron, and we're going to jump straight into it. This is the games for this week. Massive game starting us off. We've got Chelsea, City, United, Villa at the same time. Then we move into Leicester, Burnley, Everton, Norwich, Leeds, West Ham, Watford, Newcastle, Brentford, Liverpool, Southampton, Wolves, Arsenal, Tottenham, and North London derby there. And we finish with Palace, Brighton. Right, let's talk about that first one. City versus Chelsea. I mean, I'm going to have to be biased here. I think at home, we have enough to get a 2-1 win. That's my prediction. I think if this was away, I'd be a bit more concerned. But I think we've been pretty decent, especially at home. Our defence is solid. And, yeah, I've got to be biased this time. I think sometimes I do play it pretty cool. I like to go straight down the middle like I did with that Liverpool game. But for this one, Chelsea win. Campo, what do you think?
I would say Chelsea are in this game, but the fact is City never played two bad games in a row. And their last result against Southampton was, well under par. So I think Chelsea could be in for a long night. I'll go 3-1 City.
Okay. Away as well.
Yep.
All right, Tony, agree with him or me?
I tend to agree with both of you here. So my thought process was, obviously, it's at Stamford Bridge. That gives Chelsea the advantage. City also played shit last game, and like Campo said, they don't usually have two bad games. So I'm going to throw a spanner. I'm going to sit on the fence, and I'm going to go 1-0 draw. I'm going to go 1-0 draw.
I knew you were doing that. Look, well, as I said, Morty's not here, but we do have his tips, so I'm going to read them out. So we've got Chelsea for this game. He's gone with Chelsea. He doesn't usually do that. He usually likes to go the opposite of Chelsea. So I don't know what his thought process is, but yeah, that's what he's went with. All right, Tony, another big game for you guys. Villa at Old Trafford, same time as the Chelsea game, so you'll obviously be leaning towards this game. I'll be on the Chelsea game. What are your thoughts? You got that narrow win last week.
I think it's hard to tell. Obviously, we've been struggling, like we spoke about on the podcast with Juzzy, with the width of our game. I think we're going to go with a similar lineup. You have Ronaldo up top. You have Greenwood on the right. On the left, you probably have Pogba, Bruno in behind. God forbid we're going to have McFred in the midfield with Fred and McTominay, and then the same backline. So I think it's all about now. We had the shots against West Ham. They didn't go in. We had the penalty shouts where I think if they're given this week after the backlash, they're probably going to get given in the same situation. I'm going to go – is Martinez back? Do we know? Is he back? Emmy?
Yeah, I think he would be for this game, yeah.
I'll go 2-0 then. I was going to go 4-0, but I'll go 2-0 United.
Well, look, he's had that minor slip up in the cup this morning against West Ham again. They got vengeance. Obviously, it was a weakened team for you guys. It wasn't your best performance or whatever. But at Old Trafford again, I think you'd be too strong for Villa. They haven't been amazing this season. And I think, Ronaldo's in there to score goals. I can't see him not scoring this week. And yeah, you just have too much firepower. I've gone 3-1 United. I think you comfortably get past them. But again, your defence isn't amazing. It's quite shaky still, so that's why I've got you to concede a goal. Campo?
I've gone 2-1 United. Don't think it'll be comfortable, but I think they'll do it like last week, get like a last 10, 15-minute winner. Villa, they're starting to click, I think. So it'll be a lot harder than I think most people think.
And Morty has gone with the resounding vote of United as well. Again, I don't know what's in him. He's not here this week, but I don't know what's come over him. Chelsea and United in the same week. Jeez, who would have thought? All right, we're going to move into these 12 o'clock games for us. Leicester versus Burnley. Tony, start us off with this one.
I don't know. Leicester's been quite poor when it's come to games like this in the past. They've struggled a bit this year. I can't look past Jamie Vardy. I'm going to go 1-0 Leicester purely because I don't think they're going to score in the first 70 minutes. I think Burnley's just going to sit like they do against big teams, try and hold out. They'll get the goal, and I'll go 1-0, but it wouldn't surprise me if Chris Wood pops up with a goal from a 50-yard punt from the goalkeeper or something like that.
Oh, look, my fantasy team would love a Chris Wood goal. Obviously, he's a Kiwi as well, so I've got a lot of love for the bloke. But I have gone with a Leicester win as well, 2-0. I think it's as you said, they haven't been great this year, but they'll have enough. Vardy will probably just score as he does, and maybe a Yuri Tielemans goal. He's known to pop up here and there. Campo, are you going to agree with us?
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm going to say 1-0. I like Tony. I just think Leicester, as bad as they have been this year, it's an easier game. And if they can't beat these lot, then they're in strife, I think.
And again, Morty's gone with us. Leicester win. All right. Everton, Norwich. Everton started well, then they kind of slipped up a little bit. Couple defeats in there. But they're versing Norwich. It's basically a championship squad. I've gone 4-1 Everton. I don't think they'll completely hold them out. They'll concede, but they'll be way too strong for this Norwich team. And I don't know how long it is before the Norwich manager gets the sack. And yeah, maybe it's not his fault, but it's a results business. Campo, what are your thoughts?
I think 2-0 Everton. I think they've still got a lot of injuries in that team at the moment. Like their forwards, DCL still kind of hit and miss so far. But yeah, they're versing the uttermost crap in the Premier League. So if they can't get this done, oh, Lord help them.
God, I hope we're not offending any Norwich fans out there with this.
I hope I am.
They'd probably agree, to be honest with you. Let's be real. Tony, you can't be looking past Everton here.
Oh, the only thing I'm going to bring up is you're talking about that it's an easy Everton win because they're a championship at best. Didn't they just get knocked out of the cup by a championship side like UPR? A mid-table championship side?
Fair enough.
I can't look past Everton. Obviously, it'll be interesting how they put the dramas behind them. Obviously, James in the media at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how the coach kind of pulls them together and just gets them out there. They're short on stuff, but surely they don't drop points here. Surely they go out there, they get a result, and they put the negative publicity of this James transfer away. I'm going to go 2-0. I don't think Pukki's going to score this game.
All right, well, Morty again has agreed with us. It's almost like a competition who will drop points first to Norwich at this point. So if you're the first team to do it, you should probably get relegated as well. All right, this is an interesting game here. Leeds versus West Ham. Both teams like to attack. West Ham, they put it all out there. Leeds the exact same, if not more. It was hard to decide this one. I went with a 2-1 away win to West Ham. I believe Mikel Antonio should be back for this game. So that's firepower in itself. Leeds are leaky at the back. I can see him causing a lot of problems for that defence there. And yeah, Leeds, I think, is going to continue to struggle for a bit, and serious questions are going to be asked. So away win for me. Tony?
I think it was good. Obviously, West Ham didn't go all out. Obviously, this morning when they knocked us out of the cup, they did rest a few players. There was questions if they were going to bring Antonio in for this match. They didn't. They decided to rest him. So I'm going to go, looking at my fantasy team, going through my head quickly. Let's go 3-1 West Ham, Antonio brace. And I think Daniel James is going to get his first goal in the lead shirt.
Okay. Campo?
I've actually predicted a high-scoring match this game. I've gone West Ham 4, Leeds 2.
Wow.
Just basis on the fact that Leeds cannot defend to save their life at the moment, conceding way too many goals a game. And West Ham, they're in fine form at the moment. Even though they lost last game, they're still having a good season, in my opinion.
And then let's just have a look here what Morty's predicted. He went with West Ham as well. So look, he's very in agreement when he's not on the pod. All right. This is another interesting game, I think. Watford versus Newcastle. Watford coming off the back of a good win. Newcastle haven't hit any heights this season. They've been quite underwhelming. I've gone with a 1-0 Newcastle win. I've got a lot of respect for Watford. I think they play some good football. I like some of their players. But I just think this is the game that Newcastle finally put a complete performance together and get that 1-0 win. I think maybe Callum Wilson goal if he's on. Campo, how are you seeing this one?
I was leaning more towards Newcastle, but because you've jumped on them, it's just turned me off completely. I'm now going to switch up to a 2-1 Watford win, and I'll lock it like that.
Okay. Tony, which way are you siding?
If there are any Newcastle fans listening, your team is in shambles. Let's just put it there. They are.
Well, we do have Newcastle fans, though, that listen, so
I couldn't remember which brother it was, so that's why I didn't throw a name out there. I know one of them listens. I think, honestly, if I'm a Newcastle fan at the moment, I'm quite worried that we're going to be in that dogfight for the rest of the season. It's actually funny because I was hoping Campo went with Newcastle because I'm going to look like I'm sitting on the fence again, but I went a 1-1 draw, and that's what I've put in my tip in for this week as well.
Do you reckon Newcastle were just looking every week when they drop points and they see Sunderland continue to pick up points in League One and know that if they go down, they're going to meet again? Like, do you think that plays in their mind at all, or you don't think it matters?
Let's be honest. We've got Dean in the chat. We've seen him get happy every year until halfway through the season, and he goes straight back down. So who knows if Sunderland? I still think Newcastle has a chance to stay up purely because, I mean, Norwich playing horrible. Burnley's on 1 point. Leeds aren't playing good football, so I think they'll have enough.
Yeah, well, Morty's gone with you, Tony. He's gone with the Watford or the draw in this game as well. So, look, you're being backed there. So that'll be an interesting game. It should be a really interesting game to watch, to be honest with you. We don't have Morty here for this one, obviously, but it's Brentford versus Liverpool. I've just gone straight with the Liverpool 3-0 win. Yes, I think Brentford are playing great. Defensively, they're pretty solid, but Liverpool seem to just, like, even when they don't play amazing, they just seem to score a few goals. They didn't play great against Palace, scored 3 goals, put it to bed. I just think it's going to be the same way. Salah will probably score 1 or 2, probably out of nothing, to be honest with you. And it won't be anything to discredit Brentford. I think they'll still play pretty decent, but it's just Liverpool are too strong at the moment, I think. Tony, which way are you leaning?
Yeah, I don't think you can look at this match and, I mean, I love how Brentford's played. Big fan of them. Was a big fan when they were in the Championship trying to get up. They play a good style of football, but I just don't think they have enough to beat Liverpool. I think this goes in their favour being a home game, not an away game, because if it was at Anfield, I'd be looking towards more 4 or 5-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool. I think it's going to be a grounded out match, but they'll get that goal. And you know what? It's probably going to be Salah. And we'll have to hear about how good he is for next week from Morty, but I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool.
Campo, you can't disagree, surely?
No, I agree. Liverpool do win, but I think after a 7-0 win for Brentford in the Cup, the place is buzzing. I think it'll be a 2-1 for Liverpool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's obvious which way Morty's gone here. Liverpool win, but
sure, look, he had Brentford.
If Brentford could get anything from this game, that'd be their result. That would obviously top the Arsenal result, even a draw, I think. And it would just add to the excitement around that stadium, around the fan base, around their Premier League season so far. So they'll be very up for this game. And that's why even my 3-0 scoreline, it won't be a reflection of the game, I don't believe. I still think it'll be a close one. Southampton versus Wolves. I obviously come on the review during the week and gave Southampton a lot of credit, which they have deserved. Getting a great draw against City, deserved more, and that's why I've gone and backed them this week for a 2-1 win. It's obvious Wolves aren't playing great this year, and Southampton are starting to play some great football, and they're going to string together a win here in my eyes. Campo, which way are you leaning?
I don't know how you can give a team that hasn't got a single win yet this season any credit yet. A bunch of draws. If you get 38 draws, that's 38 points. It's not the greatest season, is it?
So hold on. Before you finish that, Campo, we do have a question. I think you're leaning towards this way. So Jared's asked the question. When are you going to start giving Southampton some credit they deserve? Is this the week that you are going to give Southampton some credit?
If they win, I might give them some credit. But the fact is that they've had comfortable games like against Newcastle. They drew. They haven't proven themselves. They haven't grinded out a win yet. So, again, congrats on 1 point, but you're still near the bottom.
But would you take a point away from both Manchester clubs right now if you were offered it at Tottenham?
I took 3 from City.
But at the start of the year, if you're offered a point from each, would you take it?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So you can't complain because you know what? Tottenham's probably not going to get any more points from City. So
I think you mentioned that Newcastle game though, and I think you got to look at their resilience as well. They went down, and they got that equaliser at the death, albeit a penalty, but they scraped together a point rather than 0. So I think if you got to give them some credit for getting back into that game, I suppose. And yes, as you said, they've not got a win yet, but surely it's just a matter of time for this team.
If they win this week, I'll give them some credit, but I think Wolves will win 2-1.
Okay. All right. Tony.
Southampton versus Wolves. It's kind of one of those, a team that knows how to defend and a team that doesn't know how to score this year. That's how it's shaping up here. I think there's going to be goals. I think Wolves going to get goals. I hope Traore scores because he's killing me at the moment. You know what? I can honestly see another draw here, but I bet on the fence twice, so I'll get off the fence. And purely for Gibbo, I'm going to go 2-1 Southampton.
Love to see it. Morty's also gone with Southampton. So who knows? Will Campo be right or will all three of us be right? We now go into the favourite fixture of the week for Campo. It's the North London Derby. If you haven't already watched our combined XI video of that, Campo is joined by an Arsenal fan, Bailey. They argued a fair bit about who makes the squad. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out as well. But yeah, it's North London Derby. It's one of the biggest games of the season. Both teams, this is you want to win. You can't lose this game. I think there's a lot on the line as well with Arteta's job not secure. So Campo, you can start us off with this one. How's it going to play out?
Based on previous years, we never win away and they never win at our ground. It's just always, that's how it always seems to be. But based on this season, they've just looked absolutely crud. And I would have been leaning towards a draw, but, you know, after scraping a win this morning, albeit though it's on penalties, Harry Kane scored in that game. It'll give him such a good confidence boost for this game, and I reckon we'll get it done 3-1.
Tony, what do you think?
I just find it. I find it a bit interesting how he says they've been crud, but if Arsenal somehow pull a 2-0 win off, they're ahead of Tottenham. So we'll see who's crud come the end of this weekend. Before I give my prediction, I think Campo's the man of the moment because we have a comment coming from Josh Baxter. He wants to know, how are you going to feel if his duo go out and lose to Arsenal this weekend, Campo? How are you going to react?
It's impossible.
Possible?
It won't happen because crap manager, crap defenders, crap midfield, crap strikers, crap all over the park. There's no chance.
What about Arsenal? We've spoken about Tottenham already. What about Arsenal?
Just as bad, if not worse.
All right. I'm going to go... Oh, this is actually a tough game. I am going to go Tottenham. I think on the basis of how the season's gone, they have been playing the better football. Yes, Arsenal's had 2 1-0 results, but I don't think they've faced anyone that they've matched as good as Son and Kane up top. I think Son's going to have a field day. Wouldn't shock me if he gets on the score sheet, but I do think Harry Kane's goal drought, is going to continue. I'm going to go 2-0 Tottenham.
Okay. Well, Morty has gone with the Arsenal win. I'd love to hear the reasoning behind it, but we'll have to save that for the review. I've gone with
the reason's below us. The reason he's picked them is below us.
Look, I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I want to sit on the fence here. Arsenal have got probably their strongest lineup now. Their centre backs, their right and left back, and their keeper are set now. So they've got a little bit of stability, albeit the tiniest bit. But as Campo said, Kane's now off the mark, and I think probably the perfect game to be going into it, having broken the drought. The fact that it's the North London Derby, you don't even need any motivation. That's just it already. So for him to already get his goal out of the way midweek is enough for him, and I think he'll get on the score sheet again. But 2-2, yeah, I hope it's just a very entertaining game. It's hard to pick it. It could be a stalemate. It could be a narrow game, or it could just be a goal fest. So I want to see a goal fest. I'm talking how I would want to see if I'm a neutral. And yeah, so high scoring game. I think Arsenal will probably take a lead twice and get pegged back. And yeah, as Tony says, Son score. I think Kane will score. And yeah, Arsenal will stay above Tottenham for another week. So
Excuse me?
Other way around.
Oh, sorry, Tottenham will stay in front of Arsenal for another week. Yeah. Although it will be interesting, like we said in the review, if you do lose, 2-0, then
you can't put that energy out there, boys. You can't put that energy out there.
I just want to know,
because
there's so much pressure on Arteta. If he wins this and he's above Tottenham, how much pressure goes onto your new manager? He's coming to a team that was stabilised. Yes, they had a bad season last year, but you've gone from Poch having you in the Champions League final. You've gone into Jose. done terrible. If that keeps going, like this could be a slippery slide. We've seen it with teams in the past. This could be a slippery slide.
I think Spurs would be more inclined to give Nuno time, so I don't think there'd be any panic. Whereas if Arteta was to lose this game, then it's panic stations for Arsenal. But yeah, Campo, what do you think? Do you think the same there, or are you?
Yeah, he's had a lot of off-field drama already. With the whole Kane saga, dealt with it. And now it's time to just focus on the season, get rid of all that drama. Yes, we're going to lose some, we're going to win some, but it's up to Daniel Levy to sell the club, I think.
Sounds like
we're moving to the final game of the round. It's a nice Tuesday morning game for us. We started off with Morty has gone with a Brighton win away at Palace. Brighton are high flyers right now, 4th in the table. They're almost the odd one out in that top 5 right now. High flying. They haven't played anybody. Probably their best game this year was Leicester, and they actually knocked them off. Their first big test was Leicester. Tony, which way are you seeing this one go? Can they continue to put these performances together?
You probably shouldn't have started me because I'm going for another draw. I think Zaha obviously is starting to play okay football. Brighton's on a high, but it's one of those ones where they say an elephant's at the top of the tree. How did they get there? Who knows? But they're going to eventually start falling. So I'm going to go 2-2. I think Zaha gets on the score sheet, but I also think Palace have to come from behind to get that equaliser.
Okay, I've gone with the draw as well. I think 1-1 draw. Palace have looked pretty decent this year. They might not have got enough results probably to their liking, but they've actually looked pretty good. Conor Gallagher, shining light, kills it week in, week out, probably puts him out of the match performances. Zaha, on his day, terrorises any defence out there. So 1-1 draw, I think Brighton will just have enough to avoid a loss here away. And I think it's probably a good result for both teams, really, given the way they are in the ladder. Campo, round us out, wrap us up. How do you think it's going to go?
I can't tip a team that has that twat as a manager, Patrick Vieira. I will 100% be putting all my eggs in Brighton to win this 3-1.
So Palace are now the new West Ham for you. You hate West Ham.
Absolutely right with that manager now.
Hey, Palace as well. All right, well, look, it's been a pleasure, boys. Some massive games in there. The Chelsea City to kick us off with the United Villa as well. The North London derby. It's going to promise to be a massive match day 6, and we'll be back for the review show. We'll probably have a post-game reaction for a few of these games. So we'll see you then.
All right.